going on, YouTube universe? My name is Zirra, and welcome on in, ladies and gentlemen, to Zirra Reacts, the channel where we break down, interpret, and do whatever we have to do to videos on the internet. Been a hot minute since my last reaction, let alone my last sleep token reaction. I do apologize for that. Unfortunately, something in real time has taken a lot of my time up, a lot of my attention. I can't share that, unfortunately, with people at home, so I do apologize, but just know I'm doing better, and we're moving forward. And today we're diving back into Sleep Token. We're taking on board another ritual, and I couldn't think of a better way to dive back on in. We've previously already checked out the EPs named 1 and 2, and today we are checking the first single from Sleep Token out, called Jaws, which is a song that I've already been given a little bit of information about from the last EP we listened to in 2, because Nazareth, the video clip that we got for that, is a secondary video clip, I believe, that was made. The original video clip that should have been in Nazareth is going to be used for today's song Jaws, and I'm really looking forward to seeing the differences. There's obviously going to be some similarities, but I've been told that this video is a lot darker, a lot naughtier. There are some themes that might have not fit with the tone of what the album was trying to set, or the producers weren't happy with and they didn't want to produce that. I don't know the ins and outs truly, but I really want to see if we can make connection, and that's what this is all about. I feel so far each song that we've listened to has kind of interwoven itself into one another, and the fact that these two tracks might be completely different in tone, but they share similarities potentially in video clips. Do we get the chance to sit back and try to decipher, hang on, they actually kind of work within one another? Because that's what's been the case for me with this band anyway. Being able to decipher things and learn as we go has been absolutely exciting, and that's without taking in Vessel's voice, that's without the instrumental work, that's without, you know, deep diving into the lore on my own. We're kind of just going by the seat of our pants, where we're flying as we go, and it's been an absolute ride, and I cannot wait to take on more. I'm very excited for today's reaction. So before we dive in, ladies and gentlemen, if you're new around here, you probably don't know how this goes down, but if you've been here before, join in with me. Close your eyes. We're going to take a deep breath in. We're going to take a deep breath out. We're going to make room inside. We're going to take everything in, because again, art is open to interpretation. So while there might be a definitive meaning to the lyrics or the video clip or whatever it may be, we as the consumer, the listener, we get to sit back, take things in for ourselves and interpret it in many different ways, and I am so keen to see where this lands with us today. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Sleep Token's Jaws. I am ready. Let's dive on in.
Stand under the stained glass, and I will know it's you.
I hate pausing early, but I have to talk again, and I've said it a couple of times already through my previous Sleep Token reactions, but when it comes to Vessel and his voice, I feel it is the ultimate embodiment of never judging a book by its cover. Because when you see this man all dressed up in his garb and the makeup and the mask and everything else, you wouldn't think that something that sounds so pure would come from his mouth. You would expect just straight up screamo, and some people would refer to that as unintelligible, like hogwash and, you know, mishmashing and all that bullshit. But it's so angelic, it is so melodic, it whisks you away to a different place, and it lends itself to so many different tones and genres. You can get the softer tones, you can get the ballsier tones, you can get something that sounds a little bit more jazzed up, you get something that's a little bit more R&B, something that leans into the heavy metal a little bit more. Such an accomplished voice. Truly amazing.
The whites of your eyes burn from across the room. And I'm not here to be the savior you long for, only the one you don't. Are you watching me with eyes of a predator as you move towards the door? Show me those pretty white doors. Show me where the delicate stops. Show me what you've lost and why you're always taking it slow. Show me what wounds you've got. Show me love. Show me those pretty white doors. Show me where the delicate stops. Show me what you've lost and why you're always taking it slow. Show me what wounds you've got. Show me love.
Already picking up on some vibes here. The instrumental beats are always on point.
I'm not here to be the savior you long for, only the one you do.
Okay, so I can see already the nuances of the darker kind of heavier tone that visually this video took, which is why they shifted it from Nazareth to Jaws. But from what I've been able to decipher so far, I almost attribute the fact that these two tracks, from a visual standpoint, are polar opposite. With Nazareth, you can take it from the aggressor's kind of point of view, I suppose, whereas this has come across as more of the victim's point of view, if that makes sense. You think of the metaphor that's been spoken forth of Jaws and referring to teeth or the jaw being like a tool of destruction, like jaws and teeth are meant to like crush and destroy, and you bring that into a scenario where they've mentioned in the lyrics the word delicate, and almost the demand for a loved one or a partner to stop being delicate, stop being so soft, and allow yourself to expose your true self, your raw, emotional state, including, showing your wounds, which has been mentioned in the lyrics as well. So it's definitely from a different point of view. I feel you can feel that. We'll keep listening, and I'll keep kind of deciphering what I can, but really digging this. We might even take it back a little bit. We might go back to here.
We are locked, caged and always provoked by prey. tender. I'm not here to be the savior you long for, only the one you do.
The beats are so great.
Watching me with eyes of a predator, you move towards the door. Show me those pretty white shirts. Show me where the delicate stops. Show me why you've lost and why you're always taking it slow. Show me what wants you good. Show me love. Show me those pretty white shirts. Show me where the delicate stops. Show me why you've lost and why you're always taking it slow. Show me what wants you good. Show me love. Show me those pretty white shirts. Show me where the delicate stops. Show me why you've lost and why you're always taking it slow. Show me what wants you good. Show me love.
I love it. Trying to groove while trying to take in visually if there's anything going on, but that was beautiful. The one thing I truly appreciate about Sleep Token is how emotionally charged everything they do truly is. And again, that lends itself to some other tropes that you can take from that performance. The lyrics really suggest that there is a desire to want to be consumed or devoured or to become one with somebody else, you know, through maybe a form of devotion being devouring, the self-destruction in a romanticized kind of like genre and field, and it comes across almost like this is from the perspective of Sleep demanding total devotion from Vessel, if that makes sense. It's very volatile in the way of talking about relationships, and I feel there's been a real push and pull with that with Sleep Token so far, and it's always the give and the get between Vessel and between Sleep, whether Sleep is demanding devotion, whether Vessel is trying to give himself wholly to Sleep, and that's being, you know, thrown back in his face or reciprocated, or whatever the case may be. I definitely think there are definite nuances between this and Nazareth. Visually, obviously, this was Nazareth's video, like music video, but it became Jaws, and you can see the links between the two. And as I said earlier, it can almost be painted as a picture of a similar scenario or relationship, but being taken from different angles. Now, I might have misinterpreted early saying that this was more from a victim standpoint, but this is more from the standpoint of not wanting to give that devotion, but demanding that devotion. You know, breaking down your barriers to allow somebody in, to show your most vulnerable self. And even musically and instrumentally, it starts off with that delicate piano, and then Vessel's voice comes in so smoothly, and then the instrumental starts shifting to a heavier tone, reflecting a similar journey of like that deep, intense, consuming relationship. It starts off so beautiful, and then as it starts to progress down the line, it gets heavier, you get dragged in more, and things just kept getting thrown into the mix. I'm really enjoying my time with Sleep Token, and it's not every day that I sit down and take in a new band and fall in love with their work so quickly, like I have with Sleep Token. The last band that hit a chord with me as strong as they did was Ghost, and I was very late to the Ghost train, pun intended. And I'm obviously late to Sleep Token as well, but I get now the opportunity to sit here and take it all in with you guys, and we get to worship together, and we get to take in these rituals together, and we get to impart our own knowledge, try to decipher things for ourselves. Even if I was to bring up the lyrics real quick here on screen, we can kind of decipher things. Like here, it says, "I'm not here to be the savior you long for, only the one you don't. Are you watching me with the eyes of a predator? Are you, as you move towards the door?" So it does come across from a victim standpoint in that sense, but it almost comes across as Vessel being the predator and Sleep being the victim, because Sleep is coming across and potentially saying here, look, I'm not here to be the savior that you want. I'm here to be the one that you don't want, you don't need. You know, you keep eyeballing me like a predator. And then the chorus, "Show me those pretty white jaws, show me where the delicate stops." So it's, you know, reveal those teeth, reveal the instruments of destruction, drop your facade, and show me where this soft, like, gentle nature stops, and the true, you know, unfiltered raw emotion begins to burst through. It's such a beautifully painted song, and again, feel free to disagree, because I'm still diving into lore as I go, but I definitely feel they cleverly have produced this in a way where they've managed to bring a music video that was for something else. They've used it again, they've repurposed it, but it gives insight from a different perspective, and you can link things together. And if that is the case, they've done it great. If that's just maybe a fan theory or something that I've just created in my head, I might be far off the mark, but I definitely feel interwoven connection between the two, which I think is absolutely fantastic. I love this. I truly did. There are two other singles that we're going to be reacting to at a later date. I will quickly grab the name of those two to let you guys know what you can expect if you come here to worship, because they all come recommended, and we're working our way through the discography from the start to where we are now, to modern Sleep Token. We've already done the EP of 1, we've done the EP of 2, we have done Jaws today, and then we move on to the next two singles, which is going to be a cover that they did of Outkast's Hey Ya, which I'm really looking forward to taking in, because I feel that can be delivered in so many different ways. We can get the heavier kind of tones from Vessel, we can get the more angelic, smooth vocal, which I think would lend itself if they paired it back to like a piano-based track. That would be insane. And we have The Way That You Were following that. And then I believe we have a full album to dive into, which I'm going to really relish the opportunity to do those full albums and get to hear progression. And there has been progression up until this point in time. You can definitely tell that from the first EP to this point in time, there has been growth. You can hear it in his voice. You can hear it in the instrumentals. You can feel it from the atmosphere that the song creates. This was fantastic. And I want to thank you guys for joining me for another sleep token ritual. If you did enjoy, I would appreciate it if you hit that like button down below. I do have plenty else to go check out on the channel, so feel free to do so. And if you want to get on board the community we are piecing together here, feel free to hit that subscribe button down below as well. But that's it from me, guys. I'm out of here, and as always, I will catch you guys next time.